It says Taylor reveals newly disclosed Trump exchange on Ukraine.
I seen something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's crazy. Well, let's go. Let's get it. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Who's Talk Podcast, where conversations get deep and intellectual. I'm your host, Artemis Caldwell, founder and CEO of Who Is Incorporated, the nonprofit organization out there dedicated to understanding identity and unity. As always, with me, like, man, you almost my best friend.
Yeah, man. It's the co-host, Gabe Coach. CEO, founder of Flip St. Louis, a St. Louis real estate company. We buy and sell homes. So if you're looking to buy and sell a home, hit me up on social media. Give me a call. You can find my number on there too, I think. But yeah, man, my boy Artemis, what's going on? How you doing today?
You, brother? Long time. We came a long way from our first episode.
Yeah, we did. We was in the car. Now we're on the couch.
No, well,
What?
we was at the other house. Remember, you had her.
Oh yeah, that was what was that? January.
Man, that was Jay.
That was a little minute.
Yeah.
That was a little minute ago.
That was.
It really wasn't that long ago.
Man,
it felt like it was,
but
it really wasn't. It was just in January. It was just in January.
Man.
But yeah, we went from that place to the car
Now
we on the couch.
Now we on the couch.
Now we on the couch.
Yeah, man. This episode, really, I wanted to talk to get a guy's perspective, just a male's perspective from this idea, or if you can help me out.
Sexual responsibility.
The idea of sexual responsibility weighs heavy on men, on just what we have to go through with sex, like on a bad tip, like super far, like dudes could get accused of rape, like without the case even being open to anything, like, and go to jail. Whole life be ruined, and he be innocent.
You know what's funny? It's so much more. Now that you said that, like, it's so many other things too. I saw someone make a post about an article the other day about a woman who was a hotel maid, I think.
Okay.
And she was cleaning up a room. I think it was in Las Vegas. She was cleaning up a room, and the guy's room who she was cleaning up, she found out he was a millionaire because she saw one of his bank statements on, I guess, a dresser or something like that. And I guess he had sex either before he left or the night before, but she found a condom in his bathroom toilet. She used the semen in the condom to get pregnant, get child support from him. Now she's a millionaire and she has a couple different businesses from this dude's involuntary sponsorship, basically.
I need an article for that. Cite your sources. What is that?
Let me find.
What? That's crazy. Why you do that, man? That's why, like, just with that to be said, like, man, like, really, like, when we talk about sex, it's a lot of great, like, women, they really are, not to say, like, the catalyst for it, but, like, it's as soon as it's like he got you pregnant. You see what I'm saying? Man, when I say that, just like, when I say responsible, when we say responsibility, it's just like, men neglect that. Like, it's a lot of dudes who will get out here and get a girl pregnant and won't take care of the baby with, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we talk about sexual responsibilities, it's a lot of, like, things that, like, dudes have to, like, hey, they already counting you out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when already society sort of kind of telling them that like you a bad guy, or like children don't belong with you, or sex is your fault, pretty much.
And it basically it is to a. I'm not even gonna say to a certain degree, but it really is.
Yeah.
Because the responsibility is always put on us.
Yes.
When it comes to sex.
Yeah.
And with that being said, yeah, as men, we not only need to be responsible sexually in a way where we're just not, you know what I'm saying, just shooting up the club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shooting up the club. Shooting up a whole bunch of clubs. But not only just that, just make sure if you do, you know what I'm saying, you know who you getting into a situation with, or you make sure you know who you having sex with too.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason this came up was because I was just going over previous episodes and we was talking about abortion, and it was just one of the many ways that you were saying like how sex could arise and come about. You know what I mean? And this when a girl is trying to more so not necessarily get an abortion or goes through the mindset of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, where is the man in that process? You know what I'm saying? And so we could talk about the like sexual responsibilities because of this, of where we are in society. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, go for it. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to take it there, but
it's really just on the nature level. More men, we're always expected to be the leaders. We're always expected to lead the situation, and you know what I'm saying. 9 times out of 10, we're leading the woman to sex.
Yeah.
So it's like we're responsible for it, and we do have to take that type of responsibility. You know, so with that being said, make sure you know who you're getting into situations with. Be responsible, you know what I'm saying? If you don't use a condom, make sure you.
And even then, condoms are geared to sell because they have female condoms.
They do too.
But when was the last time you seen a female ad for like a female condom ad?
I've never seen one.
You see what I'm saying? And then so like, but like if you ask a girl like or a woman like, hey, do you know anything about female condoms? All of them know.
They all know about it.
You see what I'm saying? But ask a guy, it's some of us know.
Some of us know. Some of us ain't never seen one before.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
Neither have I.
And that's where we talk about the sexual responsibilities because like now, they're only sex is geared toward like, hey, you need to be responsible because this can happen on your end. Protect yourself type deal. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's like, because when we talk about sex with a female, their upbringing is sex is like something that you're not supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? It's like something that's like you're supposed to disconnect from.
It's kind of like,
well, not disconnect from, but just like be weary about.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a negative stigma to a certain degree for a woman to have sex.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're all humans. We all want to be sexual. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I'm not saying we gotta change society or anything like that. But I think we all should just be a little bit more open about certain things like that. Be more open and less judgmental. You know.
Let me ask you, why do you think like why do you think dudes like that, or why do you think we're so cold-hearted?
Towards what? What do you mean cold-hearted?
Toward the sex part. Period. Like it is what it is, or.
Because as men, naturally for us, sex is entertainment. It's just fun. It's, something to do.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. It does play a part in our egos and everything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It does play a part in our egos.
Because I feel like the male ego is one of the fragilest things we got. Like the female ego, you got that, but like the male ego is like fine glass. You know what I'm saying? Like the fine china glass. You know what I'm saying? Like men, I feel could be broken easier, than women.
But I feel like at the same time, we have the ability to learn how to sidestep our ego and take our ego out of situations. Like, as men, we have the ability to, when we learn how to do it, emotionally detach from something when we want to do it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
some will argue females know how to do that too, though.
I think people in general know how to do that.
Yeah.
People in general know how to do that. But for men, emotions just really aren't, I'm not going to say natural to us, but it's like, it's not what drives us. You know what I'm saying? Emotions don't
and that play a
drives us.
And that plays a part into
us.
Emotions play a part into like our upbringing, because like as men, we don't, when we growing up, we fall. It's a bias in our society. When we fall, hurt ourselves, we're told, oh, don't cry. You ain't no girl. Wipe it off. So there go our emotional side kind of being suppressed a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? But when the girl cry, everybody gives her attention. All we need to see is what's okay. She might have to sit down. Now she can't. You see what I'm saying?
But at the same time, there's a certain expectation and responsibility associated with being a man. So, like, if as a man, if we're naturally on a biological level, we're like instinctively expected to be the leader amongst people. Men are expected to be leaders amongst the family. Men are expected to be leaders in relationships. So when we're expected to be the leader, there are certain things that you have the right to do that someone who may be following you, whether that be a woman or your family or whoever, there are certain things that they have the right to do that you don't have the right to do as a leader. Like, I'm not going to say as men we can't cry or everything like that, but it's something like we can either let that out with someone who we can trust, with preferably a man who we can trust, or, you know, sometimes we just got to let that out on our own. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out how to deal with that and make our own decisions about, you know, our emotions on our own. So it's like, as a man, being a leader, everyone expects you to show strength 100% of the time. Now, that's unrealistic, but that's people's expectations.
Okay. So, when you say that, so what's a man to do with the emotional? Now, because you said that you would share with another man. What do you mean by that? Like, do I have to go to my father?
Like, yeah, like say your father or friend, or, you know what I'm saying, someone that you can really trust with letting out those emotions, if you want to go that way.
Of the same sex.
Yeah, I would say as a man, yeah. I ain't saying cry on a man's shoulder and everything like that, but you can confide in another man as a man. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's not like, you know, gay or nothing like that. But it's like if it's somebody you feel like you can have that conversation with and kind of let them know how you really feeling to get that out. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Because that could go into a lot of things too, because that can go into toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying? To where now you so much of a man that like you don't know how to be charismatic.
But toxic masculinity is a new term though.
Okay.
That's a term that we only just started hearing like some years ago. They wasn't talking about toxic masculinity alone. Before, I would say, before what? Like, I don't know. I haven't heard the term toxic masculinity for since 5 years ago. That's when I first really started hearing that term.
To 2015.
Something like that. That's when I really started hearing the term toxic masculinity. And it's like, what is it?
Right.
What is toxic masculinity? I understand. We all know that, okay, man, hitting you and beating you is wrong. Okay, a man putting you down and emotionally and verbally abusing you. Okay, he shouldn't do that.
Yes, most definitely.
But a man leading and a man having his own rules and regulations for how he wants things to go, there's nothing wrong with that. That's him.
That's his own decision.
That's his own decision. That's his own way of expressing his masculinity. Hey, I want this. I don't want this. And as a man, you just got to be
hit on women and children, though.
No, I'm not saying hit on women and children. I'm not saying that. No. I'm just saying, like, just being strong in who you are as a man.
Yes. Okay.
Respecting your own manhood. That's what I'm really saying.
Okay. Because I was also, because you got the toxic masculinity, and then I was going to talk about the intimacy part, where when I say intimate, that the guys don't know how to be intimate with one another. That's that, not on nothing gay, but on the sharing yourself with another guy.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm saying?
because people are always like associate intimacy with sex.
Yes.
Intimacy is not just sex. Intimacy is like a heart to heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Intimacy can be a heart to heart. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's not like, it's not always sexual. You feel me?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, and I was trying to explain to somebody, like, intimacy could be your homeboy just getting out from jail. You give him a hug. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I ain't seen you in a
yeah.
minute. You know what I'm saying? I really jammed with you and I miss you. That's an intimate moment, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, at times where you're able to really shed your ego and allow who you really are to be present.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, with those two being said, you got the intimacy part, then, but let's say that you got sexual responsibility. Then you got to understand, like, where male and female fall into that. You know what I'm saying? Where sex does fall into on the man's shoulders a lot. We see that society is pushing that toward us. Y'all the ones who getting our girls pregnant. Yeah, y'all don't have control. This is what happened. You see what I'm saying? And then you have what's wrong with y'all? Toxic masculinity, intimacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that emotional intelligence right there. That emotional underlining character trait that we don't, I ain't gonna say don't possess, but that we just aren't tapping into.
Right. And I'm not even gonna lie, even with myself sometimes, like, I do not like emotions, you know what I'm saying? I don't like dealing with bad emotions. I like being happy and everything like that.
Right.
But it's like, bad emotions, what I'm really trying to learn how to do is just make sure with whatever I'm doing, I'm putting those things to the side, putting those emotions to the side and getting done, and focusing, giving 100% of my focus on, the things that I have to do at that moment. And that's kind of why I don't like emotions to a certain degree, because I'm learning how to, like, you know how you like having a bad day or something like that, and you feeling kind of, I ain't gonna say down, but you're feeling kind of iffy about something, or you're just feeling some type of way about something, and like you're trying to go through your day and you just like it just don't feel like you can give 100% of that focus to something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just don't feel like you can give 100% of your focus. You just don't feel all the way there with what you're doing in that moment. And what I'm trying to learn how to do is to create a space in my mind, like, where I can just say, hey, or where I can just focus on doing what I got to do at that moment.
Okay.
How we go from sexual responsibility to that?
I just knock it down. Just, man, like, because, man, I really be wanting, like, when we talk about, like, responsibilities, is okay, well, one, do you know what the responsibility is? Where do it fall?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where do it stem from? Okay, because sex ain't nothing but an emotional act. You see what I'm saying?
Emotional and physical.
No, but it stems from an emotion.
Yeah, well, yeah, it
You know
does.
what I'm saying? It's an
emotion.
emotional act.
Right.
It's an intimate act,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where like so it's okay if men don't. I don't know how to connect to my emotions, but I know how to connect in this way. You see what I'm saying? Then I need to regress and see, okay, what is the real thing that's making this action tick? Because I really like her, you know what I'm saying? Really want to do X, Y, X, Y. But when outside of this action, I'm not emotionally available. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so now you have a lot of disconnect with your emotions to where like now you got dudes who would kill a child, an infant, because the baby crying too loud. You know what I'm saying? Or you have a dude who would kill his girlfriend because she cheated on him. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, as men, don't know how to deal with hurt. Not to say like grieve like somebody dying, but like, see your relationship, you may take it overboard. Like when like dudes, like not to say like beating your girl is cool, none whatsoever.
Yeah,
Domestic violence is not what we promote, none whatsoever. But you will hear how people would try to find like the human side of a person, like they not really like that. They really da 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 da. When they suck as a person, but like if you have grown up so unavailable emotionally, you just so emotionally not there. It's it's like a human aspect that you like missing. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
No, I'm not saying like. I think like that like actually killing a person and everything like that for some small reasons like that. I think that now two things. Now you use two different examples. You use the man killing a child for crying too loud, and a woman cheating. I mean, the man killing the woman for her cheating on him. Now. Again, neither is right. The first one, that's just some issues with him.
Right.
That's honestly just some issues with the dude where you feel compelled to do some shit like that.
Yeah, most definitely.
The second, that goes back into ego, right? Because like you said, the male ego is fragile. And if a man, let's say, you know what I'm saying, the man had beliefs that his girl was being faithful the whole time, and then he found out she cheated or whatever, and he was invested in her. He did things for her and everything like that. He did what, let's say he was a good dude and he did what he did, right? The only reason he would want to murder that woman is because of his ego, because his ego was hurt to the point where he was just like, he just wants to flip out, and the ego plays into our emotions as men.
Didn't you say earlier that men could set aside their egos in certain situations?
Yes, men can do that, but not every man does that. You know?
So he's able to, but does he do it? Is what you saying?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the question, is he going to use that ability? You know, a lot of men today, we get emotional about things. We get very emotional about things.
Yeah.
And even things where we have no business getting emotional about it, because for what? What is, I say the only time you should get emotional about something as a man is if it's your purpose, or if it's something that's just been adding value to your life for long periods of time. In whatever way.
Purpose, or if the thing has added value to your life.
Yes, for a long periods of time.
For a long period of time.
For a long period of time. Like over the course of years.
Okay.
And I say that because your purpose in life, what you're pursuing in life, that's something worth getting emotional over, because you know that you can you can always bounce back. You know, that's a way where men have to direct their egos to, is like pursuing a purpose, you know, or pursuing like what we really want to do in life. If we can direct our egos to that, then men will be unstoppable.
Okay.
It's okay to get emotional about that, because that's going to take you somewhere in life. You know, that's your purpose of leaving your mark on this earth. So you can get emotional about that. You know, something that's been, you know, like let's say for instance, a business or a source of income or something like that, that's just been like your most reliable source of income over years and years, a period of time. Or let's even just say a person who's just been around you for a long time, and they've been, you know, adding value to your life in whichever way that you perceive them adding value to your life. Let's just say that or that person were to go away, right? Or that person died, or let's say that person left you or whatever. I can understand you getting emotional about that.
Right, grief.
Yes. But like anything, and like emotional about, like, you know, family members to a certain degree too, and everything like that, and you know, certain friends and everything. But anything outside of that, like it's nothing worth getting emotional over. Like somebody saying something to you that you don't like, that's not worth getting emotional over, even if it is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, but check them in your own way, but don't get emotional or mad or upset because somebody. Yeah. Okay. To where it's just anger or just hurt just flowing out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely. And that's where I was saying, like, our emotional, as men, our emotional intelligence scale is so far out of whack because of how we've been, like, bred to grow up, to not deal with it. And then with the generations that have gone on for so long, that my granddad didn't show nor express love. So now, like, well, not my dad, but like, for the example, like, my dad doesn't show love. He doesn't cry. So now, in my eyes, men don't cry. They have to be, like you said, strong 100% of the time. And we know that that's unrealistic. But this person in my life is showing me that that is possible. You see what I'm saying? Like, some people out here have that. Like, the only time my dad cried was when my grandpa died. And it's just like, to see somebody so quote unquote strong like that, are they really strong? You see what I'm saying? By not dealing with your emotions?
I think it's good to find out where certain emotions stem from, like lingering emotions, you know, things that linger on and things like that. I think it's a good idea to find out where those things stem from.
Yeah.
And find out, like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way in, you know, whatever situation it may be, whatever. But I think it's good to figure that out and find out where that comes from. And then you can, you know, move on without that if it's a recurring thing. Yeah. But just like normal emotions you may go through during the day or something like that.
I like what you said, lingering emotions. Yeah. See, and this, like, so we went from sexual responsibility to emotional intelligence. And, like, just because, like, man, I really feel like just as men, we need to understand what it is that the world is asking of us, and then what it is we need to ask from ourselves first. You know what I'm saying? So with sexual responsibility comes sexual discipline. You know, so we can start providing answers for people. To that sexual responsibility, we got sexual discipline. If we can not necessarily practice abstinence, but practice having standards.
Yes, you know, standards are very important.
Yeah, like what it is that you will and will not do.
And what you will and you will not deal with from someone.
Yeah. And that's to the point where a lot of people, like, I wish Ivy was here. All love to you. Missing again, but we're gonna let you slide. But like, where if we could take a step back from that sexual discipline and really learn to see what it is that we really may like about a person, because you could all of a sudden have sex with that person and fall in love with the action. You see what I'm saying? Versus what you was really supposed to be falling in love with them for. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And
go ahead.
I got a thing about falling in love too. Like,
okay.
I don't believe men have the right to, like, okay, so when I think of falling in love, I think of just being head over heels for somebody and just being all the way into them and just, just like being, just being all in love and everything like that.
Yeah,
you know what it is. I don't believe men have the right to do that.
Okay. Why not?
As a leader,
you can't fall in love.
Yes, you can't fall in love. Because when you're in love, and I think we might have discussed this before on a previous podcast, or it might have just been one of our conversations, but when you're in love, that's just an emotional state. You know what I'm saying? That's more emotional than anything. In love doesn't really have anything to do with logic because it's emotion. But if you're in love, you're operating from an emotional place.
To a logical state.
Yeah, you're not operating in a logical manner or in a logical state. You know what I'm saying? So as men, I would say we should always be at least 98%, 95 to 98% of the time be operating in a logical state of mind. So because we're expected to be the leaders, because we're expected to be, the ones to build societies and everything like that. So we don't really have the right to fall in love. We don't really have the right to be in that state of mind because we can't operate the way that we're meant to operate in that state of mind.
Okay. Didn't see that coming. Okay. Well,
now women have the right to fall in love
because they operate from an emotional to logical state versus men operate from a logical to emotional state.
Well, I'm not saying operate from emotional to logical, logical to emotional. I'm just saying just operating in a logical state of being or state of mind in general. You know what I'm saying? That's how you make your decisions. You make your decisions logically. You make your every action that you do has logic behind it. I'm not gonna say every action that you do, but every major action that you do has logic behind it.
And you saying because the responsibility of being a man is so heavy that he has to be on top of his game logically more than the next, or more than a female. We should say next.
Just be on top of his game, just on a manhood tip. You know what I'm saying? Just being in his manhood, his masculinity. That's a part of masculinity too. We think that masculinity is like, I think we think masculinity is a man just like the physical.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's more so a state of mind than just physical. You know what I'm saying? Masculinity is not just, I'm big and got muscles and, you know what I'm saying, I'm just all powerful and everything. It's more so a state of mind.
Right.
Not just a frame or a physical thing. It's a state of mind, and I would say even
it's like a sense of self in a way for me.
Yeah. That's basically what it is. Like, you got different masculine behaviors and things like that. Like, it's masculine for a man to build, pursue, and not just build physically, but build himself mentally, build himself spiritually, so he can, like, the ultimate how can I say it? What I want to say is the ultimate form of masculinity is a man's ability control and manipulate his own environment.
Mm.
He's able to control what he sees in the world. He's able to create what he wants in the world. Like, for example, somebody had to think of creating America, of creating the United States of America.
Right.
You know, a man came here with the idea, or men came here with the idea of getting away from their home country and creating another country or another place of being, controlling their own environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they said, okay, we don't like this environment. We're going to go over here and create our own for our own people, or people who want to be like us.
Right.
You know? So that's really, I would say, like, the big trait of masculinity.
Okay.
And that takes, time, work, and effort to build yourself as a man to get to that point to where you can just do it at will, But you can even control that just even little ways now, too.
Dang. All right. See, when you said, like, the men that came over and stuff like that, I was like, some of us was, bought over it. But, man, yeah. Okay. That's crazy. So the idea, because when you say the masculinity, I say, on the previous episode, I was explaining to you, like, man, when I say man, that means power. You see what I'm saying? So having the ability to manipulate and control things around you, that's just power.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's men are power driven.
Yes.
That's really what it is. Men are power driven. We want to have power, and we want to see a reflection of our own power.
Yes. And then in the episode, then I said that women are love. You see what I'm saying? Not necessarily that they don't operate off power, but when they look into the mirror, you're powerful as well, but it's in a female state.
Yes, it's in a feminine state.
Yeah, feminine state. Excuse me, I didn't say female.
Feminine has its own power in itself, and masculine has its own power in itself, and that's like. So, like, the exact opposite of masculine is feminine, right? That's why opposites attract. Those two entities both complement each other in their own natural ways. You know what I'm saying?
I say a man is power, a woman is love, and and you need a little bit of both to operate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, great episode, bro.
It's beautiful. I liked it, man. I like it. I feel real good about this episode.
Yeah. Sexual responsibility to hearts to man.
Emotional intelligence. We just got it in today.
Yeah, okay.
We just got it all in.
Okay. Man, thanks, bro.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, man, this has been a great production. Who is Incorporated, blended with Flip St. Louis. Yeah, man, thank you for being on the show, and just for real. We ain't seen a lot, man. Just how this show just grown from, and it's still growing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this has been a journey. This has been a journey.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. That's episode, man. Please like, subscribe. You like what you heard? Come holler at us. Leave comments. Again, I'm Artemis Caldwell, founder and CEO of Who Is Incorporated, the nonprofit where we understand each other. We dedicate ourselves to knowing who we are and who you are. Through conversations like this. This is the podcast where conversations get deep and intellectual. Who's Talk with Gabe.
Yep. Yes, sir. Co-host Gabe, coach, founder, CEO, Flip St. Louis. Check me out. Gabe's Gabe.flips.St. Louis on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or you can find Flip St. Louis, the business page on Facebook.
Yeah. Who's Talk Podcast.
Yeah.
On IG. Who's Talk Podcast on Facebook too. WHOSTALK space podcast PODCAST.
Yes, sir.
And find our YouTube channel again. You just go in the search bar, type in Who's Talk, WHOTALK, Who's Talk, WHOS apostrophe, excuse me, Who's Talk. Yeah, this is, man, great episode, bro. Alright, y'all.
All right.